Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. I tell you what, it is hotter than Ken's place, Scotch Down Under in Australia in the summertime here in Las Vegas. Last time I checked, I was sitting at around 114, 115 here at my house. I think when I pulled up the temperature on my phone, which takes it, from the airport, I think they said is somewhere around 112. And I can't believe that with all that asphalt around the darn runways there. But anyway, it is hot and miserable out there. I was in Yuma visiting the parents over the 4th of July. And is it Friday night, Saturday night? No, it was Friday night. 122. You heard it right. 122 degrees. Holy crap. I wasn't even comfortable in the pool with just my nose sticking out of the water. It was hot. Just plain hot out, everybody. And I mean it. It was just hot. Well, I hope some of you caught Stacy's stream before me. I know Brian Kilco's on right now doing his little birthday stream. I was on there for a little bit before I came over here to start on mine. So there's a lot of things to do on a Sunday night, and particularly if you're like me and it's hot out, good place to be is inside, chatting with friends, drinking some good whiskey. I'm going to start off with just a little pour tonight of the Chattanooga Cask Strength. Sorry, my finger's in the way right there. I think some of you have this thing. Let me get it out of there. There we go. A little better there. Cask Strength Chattanooga. But I just need a little something to get things going here tonight. But I wanted to pour it, and I wanted to kind of stay around the proof point for the one I'm going to talk a bit about tonight, the Dark Arts, which a few people had sent me a text and said, Dark Arts as in the Scotch? I said, nay, not Scotch. I know. Shocker, people. I know. Shocker. It is not Scotch. It is whiskey. It is, I'll give you a little spoiler, MGP whiskey. But we'll get into that in just a few moments. That's for sure. But I sure hope everybody at least popped over, said hi to Brian, smashed the like button over there, and supported him today. It's a big day for him. 44, I think Brian turned today, so he's got his stream going on. So great to see people here. Say Marty, Jason, cheers. Stacy, like I said, great stream, great flight. Enjoyed lurking while I was getting stuff set up here and listening to it. Really was a good stream. Great to have wonderful subscribers that want to share their whiskey and let you get to experience some things that you may not get to ever try or thought of. But it was very nice they dropped that off to you. So cheers to Andrew. Great that he did that, and feels strong enough that he wants to share that whiskey with you. So great stream. Cheers to him for being a great supporter for you. Really. Hey, Piper John, saw you pop in there. Cheers, brother. Thank you for popping in there saying hello. Sugar Kitty, I know you're doing double duty, so appreciate you as always. Thank you for popping in here saying hey. Always appreciate it. Rob D, cheers, man. Thanks for popping in here. And speaking of Australia, I knew sooner or later you would pop. I'm sure. I was just going to say, I'm sure you've got that ogre chalice full. Well, at about 5 o'clock this morning, I can guarantee you my ogre chalice was full of nice, strong black coffee. Guaranteed it was. Oh, looky here, my other friend there, Z-Man, who is roasting away himself down there in Arizona. I know it was a scorcher for sure this weekend down there. My gosh, like I said, it was hot when I was down there. Hot. And I was in Yuma, so like I said, 122. Whew. Let me get a little sip to that. So cheers to everybody that's popping in here. Mm. I tell you what, I don't go to this often, but I really like this Chattanooga cask strength coming in at 111. Um, the mash bill, if you haven't had, I'm just going to read it. Yellow corn, malted rye, caramel malted barley, honey malted barley. It has such a nice flavor, nice spice on it. It's young whiskey. It's a little over 2 years, but you know what? The mash bill on this does well to mask the youngness. You will pick it out on the end of it, but this is a really, really nicely done young whiskey. I couldn't even tell you if it's still on the shelf anymore, at least not this particular one. But my goodness, I enjoy it when I do a pour of it. And so, with what I'm going to pour tonight, it made me think about that. And so that's why I'm kind of starting with it, because it kind of reminds me of it. So, not to get all into my review right now, but so that's why I'm kind of starting where I am before I get into that bottle, and we'll chat about it in a minute. Brian, great to see you, man. Hope you are doing well. Really do. Hope you're doing well, and appreciate you coming over here to say hello, smashing that like button. And then I seen Doc in here. Absolutely. Cheers, Doc. Thanks for popping in here, saying hi to everybody. Really do appreciate it. Really do. Yeah, Piper John. I mean, it is an amazing whiskey. When it first come out, you hear about it, but I had to procure this through other means because it wasn't here in Nevada. And I think it was Whiskey Encore. Cheech was the first one I that talked about it. And so when my wife happened to be in Florida a few years ago, it was on the shelf down there, and I said, buy that one. And so, of course, she brought that back for me. So that's how I kind of got introduced to it. But I'm pretty sure it was Cheech from Whiskey Encore that talked about it. But it's been talked about on other channels. And I can almost guarantee you Whiskey Uncensored, aka Bourbon, he brought it up. And Whiskey knows I know Marty knows about it, but just saying. So it's been out for a while, but for me, you just don't see it out here. So when I had a chance to pick it up, I most certainly did. JD, cheers, man. Long time no see. Appreciate you taking a minute, coming in, saying hello. And then, of course, Eric, cheers, man. Great seeing you. Hope you're having a great weekend. Always nice to see you floating around, man. Appreciate you coming in here, saying hello to everybody, and just spending a little bit of time with us. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. But tonight, I've got this bottle of Dark Arts, and I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's been a few reviews on this bottle already. And a lot of people, like I said, thought of Dark Arts Scotch that I was going to go. I would really love to get a bottle of that, but to lay down about 5 or 6 Benjamins on a bottle like that, it's definitely one of those ones that I would have to try. I've heard many people say it is exceptional, the Scotch Dark Arts, but before I'd lay them Benjamins down on there, I would definitely want to get a nice pour of it to really, really understand it, to say, oh, yes, that has got to go on the shelf. But that being said, so Liquor Lineup here opened up their 3rd store. And I popped in there because I couldn't attend their grand opening, which happened to be over Father's Day weekend. And that weekend happened to coincide with my father's birthday. So to Yuma I went and visited Dad for that weekend. Anyway, so they had their opening. This was one of the things that when they opened was on the shelf there. Of course, I went later, but later is in not till last weekend, just because I wasn't in town. But I tried a few things there and was impressed. I thought some things were really good, but this one stood out. This particular bottle stood out to me as something that was interesting. So I'll just kind of go over it a little bit with you as I sip on this Chattanooga. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to get another sip of this Chattanooga, but I just caught something here. Looky here. Cheers, man. Really appreciate you stopping in. Look at me to raise my glass. Let me raise the glass here. Cheers, Whiskey Corner. Appreciate you popping in here, man. So great to see you come over here. Say hello to everybody and thank you. Yes, smash that like button. Support the channel. Really do appreciate you. Let me raise a glass to you. And Bourbon Baller, appreciate you popping in here, man. Thank you very much. Let me get a little sip here. Biden, if you didn't hear, this is Chattanooga. And I can't tell you last time I cracked that bottle, so it's been months, but damn, it's just as mouth-watering and as tasty as it was when I last went to it. It's a great sip. But anyway, so when I everybody knows that I don't like to have a sample or a taste before I buy something. Well, with the last review I did, we talked about the Sands End Portsnoy. Well, I had some of the Sands End, but it was the last bottle they had, but it was an open bottle, so I couldn't buy it. So I actually had a taste of the Sands End before I reviewed it. So I already said to myself, boy, that is an interesting whiskey. I'm really going to like getting into it. So I got the bottle and did not know, whiskey of the year and all that stuff, but neither here nor there. So that's pretty much along the lines of this Dark Arts. When I went up to the new liquor lineup 3, this was there, and I tried a few other things, and a Holiday Toast was one of them. And I will say, I wasn't impressed with that Holiday Toast, but I won't go into it, but just wasn't. It wasn't, to me, unfortunately, I heard a lot of good things about it, a lot of hype on that. Wasn't impressed with it, but that's that. But this, when I got a little sample of it, it was intriguing enough for me to reach over and grab this. Now, they have 2 other bottles different than this. One has some staves, and I think the other one was a rye. So I have it up, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is cask strength, and it's what they call barely legal bourbon, coming in at 51 corn, 39 rye, and 10% malted rye. So I'll read that again. 51% corn, 39 rye, and 10% malted rye. Very nice mixture. Very interesting mixture. Coming in at 58.5 ABV. So what, 117, 118. So let's just say, oh, there it is, 117 on the proof. So cask strength. And so I got a sip of this. And I tell you what, it turned out, I will say this, it turned out enough that I was like, yes, get that. So my wife happened to be closer to the counter where it was. I said, pull that off of there. So hence how I got this. But I don't know how many of you have seen this, have tried it. But like I said, I know that it's out there. It's floating around. So, but for me, it was the first time I'd seen it here in Las Vegas. And you may have heard me say Bardstown is now being distributed again here. And I was talking to Sugar Kitty earlier today, and I saw the Disco 10 here, not to go off on a tangent. I know what we're talking about, but I think it's going for about 139. So let's say 140. And I was talking to Sugar Kitty about it, and he says 140 is MSRP. So I don't think it's terrible, but I've never had it. And you know what? I stopped listening to really any reviews on the Bardstown and stuff like that. I like the Discovery series, and I like the Fusion series. I didn't have any of the collaborative ones because they just weren't here. And when they really started getting into them, they didn't distribute here in Nevada anymore. So it was just one of those things I just kind of stopped looking for. But now it's here. And then the Amorano finished one is here. And I saw the one of the collaborative series in Bardstown, the I think stout finished ones, the stout finished ones. But that collaborative series was around $170. I'm like, holy smokes. Like I said, I'm out of touch with the current prices on that stuff. So I don't know. Hey, Adam, cheers. Great meeting up with you and Andrew Chance yesterday. It was really nice seeing you. Really was. Appreciate you popping in here. But I'm not going to say spoiler, but I know that Adam and I have talked about this because we met up a little bit at Liquor Lineup 2, and I was chatting about this with him. So he knows some things that you're going to find out about this whiskey. But anyway, let me just give you a little bit about this. If you guys haven't heard about this, they are a non-producing distiller, and they get their stuff from what I'm reading from their website. So a little bit from memory is, they're down in Lexington, Kentucky. They get their juice. This just happens to be MGP, and that's what I know. And they do things a little on the unusual side. I don't quite how to say this, but they make custom blends using different barrels to impart different flavors into the whiskey. And so just go to the website. You guys can read up a little bit more on this, just to learn more for yourselves, about it. Oh, you just poured it? Okay. Sit right there, brother. I'm getting ready to pour one with you. Shredward, cheers, man. Appreciate you popping in here, hanging. Yes. I saw your comment earlier. Bourbon neophyte drinking bourbon. Well, I've always drank bourbon. It's just that most of my recent purchases have been Scotch. And I've got a couple of, you can see them above my head there. There's the picks from Smoke Wagon. There's one right there. Adam and I were talking about them yesterday, and another one there. And I'll open one of those. Well, one is open because I shared it with some people. So anyway, I'll get into one of those later on about that. But it's really, they're good picks. But anyway, so Adam and I were talking about this and this whiskey, and I had my sip of it. And let me just put a Glen cap on this so I don't confuse it. And I'm gonna pour some right now as I'm talking. But the taste on this, when I first tried it, was different. But there was a thickness to it that really intrigued me in flavor. That is really what pushed me to purchase it. But I also thought the proof, this cask strength of this particular whiskey, I don't want to say spot on, but I liked that initial taste. So, and I'm not going to lie, I couldn't resist, and I'll hold it up so you can see. I've had a pour or two out of this because I really wanted to get into this some more before I talked about it. And like I said, I don't generally do that, but because I rather that first taste, that first expression on my face, the first words that come out of my mouth tell the story. But this one, I really thought needed a dive. I needed to get into it because there were some things in there. There were some tastes in there that I'm still not sure I'm going to articulate it well. However, I'm going to do my best on it. And the color is nice, 7-year MGP. It has a thickness to it. And it's going to be hard for you guys to see it, but the legs are nice. They don't just streak down the sides of the Glen. They just don't do it. They kind of hold there a bit, and it looks and appears thick. All right, that's the first part. It looks and appears thick. I knew it would be. That's why I said yes. Get that. When we talked about it yesterday, I just knew that smoke wagon, that pick. I know where you got it from, and I don't have one of theirs, but yeah, I just know. I just knew that you were going to like that. That high rye, that spice that's in there, it's really great. It's all, I don't know how to put it other than it's not quite like eating a Fireball, that really forward cinnamon, but the cinnamon on that pick is pronounced. But when you get into that with smoke wagon, that's one of the things. The cinnamon that Aaron talks about is generally always prevalent in his whiskeys. But anyway, let me digress to get back to this. The nose on this is of course has a sweetness to it, but graham cracker and a hint of like chocolate and honey on here. And I think that comes from the malted rye. So there's no barley in here at all. And yes, I know I'm not using that darn glass, but I left it in the I left it in the kitchen again because I was drinking that out of it the other day before I left here and visited the parents. And I did it again and I left it in the kitchen. And I'm just not running back out there to get it. So I'm going back to old tried and true right here. But it's a very nice on the nose. It's nice on the nose. It really is. And I will say this, it does not smell like it's 117 proof. It more smells along the line of like a 100 proofer. I couldn't say wild turkey, but when you know something, you can, is it a high proof? Is it a low proof? When I mean low proof, 90 or less. But generally, if it's a higher proof, you get a little something on the nose. This, I think, could fool me. I think I would have, just if I was just nosing it, I probably would have put it around 105. If I said 110, I'd be shocked, knowing what I know. But it's a pleasant nose. I like it. I think it's nice on the nose. So let me get the sip for you here. When you take that sip, for me, and just like it is now, my mouth is watering, and not in a bad way. It doesn't burn, but there's a nice spice to this. There's a nice thick viscosity to it, at least the mouthfeel on this particular whiskey. The flavor is sweet. It's thick and almost, I don't want to say so much as chewy, but I'm going to use that expression that there's something about that on there. And you can get the sweetness. And I don't know if it's chocolate, honey, or whatever, but there is that sweet note. And it's a deep, dark sugar. You can get a little char out of it. There is some oakiness to it. It's not bad at all. When you get into the second and third sip, the flavors seem to come together better. Your palate is more receptive. The flavors seem to really gel and go together. Mm-hmm. Now, Adam, I don't know what you think. I mean, if this is your first pour of it, and so, but I'm not going to beat around the bush. This is I think is good, and some time in the bottle is going to do this one well. It's flavorful. I really like it. I do. I think it's good. Back after wolfing down a sandwich, 7 samples in an hour was a bit of whiskey. It is a bit of whiskey, but we got to remember we are professional reviewers. We do this for our subscribers, just so they don't have to. We endure the pain, Stacy. That's just what we do for our subs. And yes, been down that road. Last weekend after the stream I did with let me sample this one with it. Let me sample that one with it. And I told my wife, she says, how you feel? I said, I am fine. I says, I'm not inebriated, but I absolutely need no more. I said, so shower I went. But this is a good whiskey. $89 where I am for the bottle. I'm not disappointed in it tasting what I've tasted so far on this. The one that I there are two more in there. Hold on. Let me see if I still have that. If I still have that darn thing up. Hold on. I was looking at it earlier. Let me just see here if I can see. I know one was a rye. I said I couldn't remember exactly if they had a rye. But the first one is in a French oak stave finished. It's a small batch bourbon. 6 years, 7 years. I had that. There was just something about it when I had that little taste of it. I'll tell you, it was a little off-putting for me that I didn't purchase it, but I have tried it 2 more times, and it's one of those that I would definitely want to sit with a dram of it before I made that purchase. The other one is a rye, but finished in Amburana oak staves. Now, I didn't try that, but they have that out. But Amburana, I don't have a problem with it. It's just not my favorite. So I'm a little leery on that in itself because, if you don't really like something, you are not just going to jump on it and buy it. And the price is, I think, the same. I don't think there was a difference. I don't think there was a difference in the price. Well, you know what? I know which one you got. The one that I have, Adam, that's open, is the Los Palmas liquor store here. As a matter of fact, I think that's up where you are now, this particular one. So it's another liquor lineup. It's not liquor lineup 1, 2, or 3, but the same person owns this particular store, and I do believe it's up by where you are now. It's 60.35 ABV, 7-year MGP. And I don't know. I think the tastes are going to be different, Adam. And like I said, I know where you got your pick from. I just think it's going to be a little different. And you know what? I'll pour some of this smoke wagon since you're gonna try the other one, and we'll do a little taste because I know you have this Dark Arts right now, and you just cracked it and you're trying it. So this is the Dark Arts. So I moved the other drink there. I'm going to take another sip of this. You know, that could be the next pick's name. You just don't know. But sorry, that Dark Arts is just really makes my mouth salivate, kind of like the Portnoy was last week. I mean, it really gets your juices going. I mean, honestly, it's like, wow. Let me get this little. Oh, let me do this just because. Where is it? Here we go. My whiskey encore glass. I'm gonna pour. Yes, they're both 7 years. This one is actually 7 years on the dot, so it says, so no change. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a little of that in here. You're right, the mash bills are different. This one's just a tad higher on the proof, but that's okay. Not going to hurt anything. Hold on, there we go. Put that on there. So this is the Smoke Wagon pick from Las Palomas here in Las Vegas. Now it's funny, on the nose, similar, Adam. But this one, I get, this is the Dark Arts. I get a deeper dark nosing on it. Now this is the Smoke Wagon pick. Very similar, but I think the nose is lighter than the nose on the Dark Arts. The Dark Arts seems thicker and richer, if that makes sense to people out there. As far as I know, on the Dark Arts, it's all MGP, if that's the one you're referring to. Smoke Wagon is always MGP. Similar in the nosing, but I still think the Smoke Wagon pick is lighter in essence, if that makes sense. Lighter in essence. Let me get a little of this on the palate. So Adam's drinking a Smoke Wagon pick that he picked up, and I'll say, I do believe he got his from Total Wine. Mine is from a store here in Vegas, Las Palomas, and then the other one is Sunset Market, which, again, not going to be far from you, Adam. But I missed the liquor lineup pick. So they had 3 of them. I missed the liquor lineup one. It went that quick. So, hey, I got 2. That's all that counted. So let me give this another little shot here. So right off the bat, some similarities, but the Smoke Wagon in viscosity to me is a little thinner. It's good. It's good. It's cinnamony. It has that nice rye spice. It is not as sweet as the Dark Arts. It is not as sweet as the Dark Arts at all. Cheers, John. Appreciate you coming by to say hello. The Smoke Wagon pick is 60.5. Oh, 60.35. Hanging 60.35 on the Smoke Wagon pick here. And it is good, but I like the viscosity in the Dark Arts. The sweet spice of the Dark Arts, and this by no means is any disrespect to this particular one. It is good in its own right. But if you're asking me right now, I definitely finish this, but I'd go back to the Dark Arts right now because that's where my that's where my palate is. But this is good, and I do get some similarities in it. I don't get the chocolate or honey note that I get in the Dark Arts, which I lean towards, because to find heather or slash honey in a Scotch, woohoo, I like that in there. So I lean towards that. So when I picked that out of the Dark Arts, it was like, oh, wow, that's good. I like that. I thought I thought that's, to me, that is a good note that I look for. So that being said, oh, exactly. And I say the same thing, and I get it backwards. Black Arts, Dark Arts, you're right. But the Scotch, because I got a couple of texts and I said it incorrectly earlier in the stream. But yeah, people wanted to know if I was referring to that. And I said, no, it's just a little pricey around here. I think that the least I found it for was about $600 for the bottle. And I know they can be north of that. But anyway, but there are similarities on the nose to the Dark Arts and the Smoke Wagon. There really are. But the Dark Arts just has a deeper, richer essence coming out of the Glen. And not that the Smoke Wagon is bad. It isn't. But that's my opinion in what I get when I nose the Dark Arts and I nose the Smoke Wagon. I don't know what you're exactly getting at them, but it's I don't know. It's not imbalanced on the scale, but it's not quite equal. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's not quite equal. It's not that it's not terrible or anything like that by any means. Yeah, they're not far off in proof. They are not far off in proof at all. Not at all. I mean, it's hey, Z man. Yeah,
Come on, brother.
This sampling whiskeys. I know you find it hard to believe, but
Yeah.
no, it's just it just is it's just a richer essence and a nosing on the Dark Arts. And like I said, I don't want to seem like I am putting down the Smoke Wagon one, and I'm not. But
I haven't had a bad Smoke Wagon. The only thing that I kind of didn't like was the younger.
Yes, I've never even opened mine because I've had some of the younger.
Yeah.
It's good. It is good. I like the higher proof, but it's your straight bourbon. It's the Smoke Wagon straight bourbon. It's just in a higher proof. So if you want that little bit more of a kick, that's where it shines. But
it's more spicy, don't you think?
It is. Oh yeah, it is, because it's a higher proof. But the mash bill is the same.
Okay.
And it seems a little lackluster when we talk about the Smoke Wagon, the younger. And they don't call it the younger anymore. I forget what they call it. It's not the younger anymore.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's good.
But everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Sure.
I think it's still 114 proof. I think it's still 114 proof, but don't anyone quote me. I've got a bottle of it sitting up there. I've never opened it. Never opened it.
Yeah, I cracked mine. I took a couple pours up and I went,
Well, mine is this. The age on this one is 7 years hanging, and you can find them at 7. If you're going to the website, the picture they took of the bottle is 6.5 years. So this one is 7. So it's got a few more months under its belt before it was dumped. But, and I don't think, for the dark arts that I've got here, I don't think it's a bad price at $89. I will say this. If it opens up more in the upcoming weeks and the flavor really comes together, I mean, this is good now. I don't think I would hesitate to buy a backup right now. But in a couple weeks, when I go back into this bottle, if the flavors really open up well and meld together well, and it hits all the same spots again, I can say more than likely I'll go back for a backup of this. I certainly will, and I'll look for the same batch and so on and so forth with it. Yeah, it's a ridiculous price now, Donald. It is a ridiculous price for that. It's stupid, but it still goes off. It still sells off the shelf. They may not bring in, let's just say, 2 cases of it, but I know places at least get a case of it, and it doesn't sell daily, but it does sell, and they go through it because there still is a demand for true whiskey drinkers, collectors, to add that to the collection. I'm definitely not there to do that.
Not for that price.
Mm-mm. But yeah, it's pretty darn good. You need a gift bottle. You need a gift bottle for somebody that might be the ticket. Yeah, I can appreciate that. Hey, how's everything in Canada?
Not too bad. How's things going with you in the
in the heat?
Hole? Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not going to hit 50. I'm not going to hit 50. Z-Man might be close where he is.
Yeah, it's bad out here, brother.
Yeah. I think the next 2 to 3 days we're set to hit like 95 without the humidity, and then with the humidity it's going to feel like 110. So,
and that's awful.
Yeah,
it was 115 up front this morning. It's bad.
So, John, I will say this: if you find this, and I'm going to hold it up. I don't know if you've seen it yet, there, Josh. Right here, this is the bottle. It's a 7-year Dark Arts. They make a French oak stave. I've had a couple of tastes of it that didn't impress me. I'm not ruling it out yet. It's one of the ones I need a pour of. And then they have an Amburano finished rye. I haven't tried that, but Amburano and me don't. I don't want to say we don't get along. It's just not my favorite finish, but I've had it and I thought, oh, this is okay. So I would have to have a pour of it to make my decision whether I was going to have it or not. But this right now, this one right here, the barely legal cask strength bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's worth the money. It's worth the time to have a couple of drams of it, let it open up over 10 days, go back to it, and then give it another couple of weeks to open up again, and then do another deep dive into it. I really think this bottle has some potential. I do. Right. I do. It's been a minute since I really got into a bourbon. I've just been on this Scotch kick for a while, but when I tasted that for the first time last weekend, I'm like, wow.
Okay.
I go, there's something to it. There really, really is something. I mean, it has potential. So, I couldn't pass it up.
121. Jesus.
No, that's easy 50 degrees right there.
Yeah. Nope.
Yep. Well, in Yuma on Friday it was 122.
It could be
my dad
120
did.
outside. The weather people will never tell us the true temperature.
It honestly, like,
They will never tell it to us.
120 is hot, but at least it's dry heat. So when you sweat, it will, evaporate. But
Yeah.
You're right.
when you get to like 95 with 85% humidity, you walk outside and you're like, your clothing is clinging to you. You're stuck. Just, ugh.
Yeah, it sucks.
You just want to go do what you have to do outside and get home.
Yeah,
Go
and
back
that's
to
basically how I'm going to be for the next few days, because that's what they're calling for here. And then more storms, which means hail, tornadoes, all that lovely stuff.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year
yeah.
for you guys up there.
Yeah,
That's nice.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. It's just that time of year.
Yep.
But going back to the smoke wagon now, the pick that I picked up a while ago, very similar. They're both MGP, as in age-wise, the whole 9 yards. Only off by a hair. Let's just say 116, 119 on the proof. The smoke wagon's just slightly higher. But I like the flavors and I like the thickness of the Dark Arts.
Okay.
If you're asking me to choose right now, I like that on the Dark Arts over what I have in the glass. But I've had this on its own a few times. It's sublime. It's a great dram, the smoke wagon pick. It's a great dram. I mean, for the money, they're about $100, depending upon where you find them. I've seen them 120. And I think for what it is, it's at 120. That would probably be the max I would tell anybody to pay for it, unless it was one of those bottles that you get and, oh my gosh, your foot starts tapping the minute it passes over your tongue. Okay. But 120, that would be the maximum I would pay for that smoke wagon pick. But I would damn well think about it before I laid that down.
Okay.
But they don't do them often. Aaron doesn't put them out often. So when they come out, they sell out. I mean,
and all this whiskey is good.
It is good. So you don't get too many shitters. Even we talked about the younger, like I said, don't call it the younger anymore. It's not terrible, but to me, I was expecting a little more flavor out of that whiskey than what I had gotten when I got a nice 2-ounce pour of it to where I could sit down and drink it. It's the straight, like I said, it's the straight bourbon, but at the proof, I just thought there would be more. So my expectation was already up there. And I said, oh my gosh, from 92 to 114 proof, this has got to be killer now.
Yes.
On this bourbon. Well, it was good. But then it's like, that flavor I was expecting to get.
It didn't quite arrive. Yeah.
It just didn't do it, Donald. That's a good thing. It just wasn't there. It didn't make it. And I know people that like it and they say it's good. And I go, it is. But for me, it wasn't there. So I never opened the bottle I got because I looked for it for a while because it was flying off the shelf. And so when I had a chance to pick it up, it got there, I grabbed it. Okay. But I was lucky enough to get a nice pour of it. And I already had bought the bottle. I just didn't have an occasion to open it, to try it. And it was like, wow. A bit of disappointment.
Yeah, that's where I am with my current pour.
Now, is that the standard 12?
That's standard 12 from 2020. And the 2019 batch I had, I was like, holy crap, they've rediscovered their form. And then I went and bought one in 2020, and I'm like,
yeah. I like my bottle. I like my bottle of Buna 12. So I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I just heard, like, just from you, it's like, boy, I've had ones before that were, oh my goodness, it is just a great sipper. Then you buy the next bottle and you're like, what the hell happened?
Yep. No, Bunnahabhain is one of those distilleries that does have that kind of batch inconsistency, same as Glenfarclas and a couple of others. But I mean, it's not terrible. It's just boring, which is even worse. Because if it were terrible, at least I could go, let me drink terrible whiskey. Ugh, entertain everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
And so that's kind of, how do I say this? That's kind of where I am on that the Smoke Wagon the Younger.
yeah, it
It's
sounds
not
like
terrible. It's not terrible whiskey.
it's just kind of boring.
Yeah, it just you had Boona 12, so your expectation of what it should be was here, and then you got it, and you're like, "What the hell just happened? How could it drop?"
Yep.
But hey, it happens with whiskey. I don't care what it is. It's all like that. You know, they mix those barrels up for a profile, but that profile that they mixed this year definitely isn't the same as last year. It's always close.
And it's the same with the Bunnahabhain 12 cask strength. Like 2021 was okay received, and then apparently 2022 blew everybody's mind away. And 2023 is slightly less better, but still good. So you never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the whole thing. You
don't. And Josh, I saw Eric's answer to the Bardstown Amarano. But
the Amrut? Yeah.
Amrut, yeah.
Amrut. Oh man, I love Amrut whiskey. Oh.
Again, it's at a price point that makes me go,
Really?
Yeah, it's around $150, $160.
What?
Yeah. They just started back here. The 10 is $140, but that's MSRP, and it's about $20 more than I was paying for the regular Disco Series 4 years ago. So I said, well, shit, $20 isn't.
Oh, okay, for Bardstown. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking 140 for Amrut. No way. Fuck that.
Yeah. No, it's Bardstown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a few Amrut bottles, and I have to say my favorite. God, what is my favorite Amrut? I mean, I love the Naranja, which is the orange with the sherry.
And that's the Indian whiskey is in the country,
Indian,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not
Native American people.
No, from India.
It's from India.
Yes, the country.
I mean, even the Amrut Fusion for what it is. I mean, I think I paid like $75 Canadian for it, which is a fusion of their own malt with peated Scottish malt. Just, I love it. Oh, man.
So let me just interject real quick. Now that I'm steadily sipping on the Smoke Wagon pick, it's quite flavorful, and my mouth is salivating as if I was drinking the Dark Arts because I'm continuously drinking now. So the initial palate I had for the Dark Arts is now moved on to this. But I can tell, how to say this, the Smoke Wagon just has a little, to be plain, is a little more jagged edges than the Dark Arts. And they're both MGP, but I think it's the malted rye is what I am leaning towards in the Dark Arts because of the malt in Scotch.
No, that's a different palate.
Bingo. And so I really like that. What it leaves on my palate, that rich, thick, sweet honey, chocolate, graham cracker type of a note that I get on that Dark Art. And like I said, now that I'm steadily sipping on this, I'm able to discern a little better what's going on.
Right.
Yep. So I'm sure you saw the bottle I bought myself for my birthday a week ago.
I did not, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yep.
And
42-year Canadian whiskey for $460 taxes in, which is
that's for your price. For your price, yeah.
Yeah, but $370 US for 42-year whiskey.
I understand.
Yep,
I understand. Hey, John. Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, saying hello. Appreciate you.
The unfortunate thing is I can't buy whiskey in Ontario right now unless I order it online.
Why? What Trudeau do now?
Oh, it's not Trudeau. It's
Oh.
our provincial liquor board. The employees are on strike, so all the shops are closed.
High prices of liquor, I'd strike too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they're all on strike. You can't get liquor unless you order it out of province or go to like the actual distillery or producer themselves.
Well, thank goodness you have an emergency stash for just such an occasion.
Oh, I mean, yeah. It might last me, the next 10 days or so, eh?
Yeah, but the chances of them settling between now and then are pretty good.
Not really.
Oh, really? They're dug in?
The union has said, we're not going to bargain with you bastards until we get what we want. That's it. Like, they are dug in.
Hey.
And I don't have to blame them because
they're making the money.
Exactly. So
Duh.
The LCBO is this huge entity, the single largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. They do $10 billion of sales a year and make $2.5 to $3 billion in profit per year. Yet they have employees that are basically been temp employees for 10 years, promised a full-time position and without getting one.
And working on dirt, probably.
Exactly. And it just like, if you want to fuck your employees like that as a government agency, then you deserve to close and go under. Like, I hope they get what they want at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, Ben. Cheers, brother. Thank you for popping in there. Hope Kilco had a good stream. He might even still be going on. But
cheers, Ben.
Chris, is there any added inclusions for the Fairmont as wow? Good thing we want to meet your grand. Well, I just said I got a message. What is the best hotel in Toronto? I told you. Fairmont hotels are not cheap, which is why I like to stay at them, because I get, perks when I travel in the US.
Perks.
Like, yeah, concierge. Like, they include rides out to places as part of my hotel. Like, it's great.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Nope, not at all. Nothing wrong with that. For sure.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
How long did Ken go on?
I think he shut it off after 7, 8, 9.
Well, no. Well, 12 hours was on Saturday because that was partly my fault.
This morning was 4 hours.
Yeah,
4 hours today. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on there for like the last hour. He did the air show though, which is kind of cool. Out of Wales. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was partially my fault on Saturday because I was watching the football and I'm like, dude, you got to watch this. Find a way. Like, come on.
Yeah, you got me.
You got me watching it too.
But hasn't it been great? Like the excitement level and everything. Like it's just been brilliant. Like,
well, in the Copa, I don't know if you realize it or not. It's in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, I know. They're playing games all over the U.S.
I was like, holy shit. Well, it's just that stadium, man. I was like, good. That's where the Arizona Cardinals play.
Yeah, and then last night I got a message from Mike Stahl. He's like, Uruguay, because they beat penalties. And I'm like, bingo.
That was a good game too, brother. That was a good game.
It wasn't a good game. It was scrappy. Like the fact that Uruguay went down to 10 men, held on, pushed it to penalties, and then beat Brazil. It's just like
they were tripping all over each other the whole freaking game.
Well, they weren't even tripping; they were trying to hurt each other.
Yeah, I saw one where he grabbed him by the shirt and then his arm went around his neck, and I'm like, well,
that's not football. That's not soccer. That's just wrestling.
Well, and
that's what it's supposed to be.
When they both got up, the guy that he put his arm around his neck, he shook his hand. That guy shook his hand. It was like, I guess they expect it,
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I was like, all right. But yeah, that was fun to watch.
For some reason, StreamYard is being obstinate.
Uh-oh.
Everything on my end's perfect. It's just the feed from the camera in.
Yeah, just give it a minute.
It's just don't know, can't explain it, but I can see myself perfectly on my camera. It just doesn't want to play nice, or StreamYard doesn't want to play nice.
Mm-hmm.
How lovely.
Yeah. Oh well, that's why they call this live streaming, right?
That's fine.
That's just how it goes.
I believe the correct term is munted.
It is, and I can fix that right now. See, boom. So that's how I know the feed's working.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I know the feed's working. It's just for some reason it's just being obstinate. So I'm just shutting the camera down and doing a restart of the camera and everything. But yeah, I have no clue why it did that. I looked up. I'm watching myself on the camera, so when I know exactly what's happening because I can flip my monitor up on the camera to where I could see myself.
Right on.
So I know the status of the camera at all times. And when I know the camera's about to go out because it's hot here, but I keep a cooling fan going in the back. But if it was overheating, I could see it.
Well, it would give you a little warning because I've seen other people that have, have their cameras overheating. You see in the bottom, camera overheating.
Yep, exactly. But mine flashes on the screen, and before that happens, and it's usually because I forgot to turn the cooling fan on.
Okay.
So I know. And so I just shut the camera down. Just a couple of minutes, get the fan going. Boom, it's set. But
so, Z-Man, what did you think of the England penalty win? Wasn't that nail biting?
Dude, I didn't get that shit at all. I was like, holy cow.
That was just like, I don't know why they retrenched again. They were playing brilliant and then sat back again, bored everybody to tears, and then went to penalties. And I just thought, oh God, here we go again.
Well, like I told you, the penalty kicks are fun to fucking watch.
They are, but they're nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It always is.
Well,
yeah, especially when it's like that.
What boggles me is these guys are kicking it off the side of their foot. And I don't know how does a goalie defend that?
Well, you train. Like, some goalkeepers are better at it than others.
Okay. All right. Jesus.
You know what? That's
right. That's the shit that has to be glued to the TV.
Yep.
Yeah, that has to be glued to the TV.
Yep. Same here. Although I had to look away at sometimes. We're like, nope. I'm like, there goes my money. Nope.
Yeah, prescription bourbon. I didn't have a warning. I just knew something was going on when I saw the feed do what it did on the screen. But the camera was working perfectly. I mean, perfectly. I'm staring right at the screen, and I know what I'm looking for if there's issues. Yeah, nothing. So I know it's in StreamYard, but it's all good.
You know what, John Kranz? You haven't seen history, because they have been the worst team in the world of the top tier teams in terms of winning on penalty kicks. I think 24% or something like that. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that, Don.
No, definitely. Like, I think in the next round, the games are going to be insane. Like, just France and Spain, England, Netherlands. Like, how the hell do you call that? Like,
do you think it'll start out more offensive than defensive?
All teams are going to have to. They're going to have to run at each other. Like
All right.
it's going to be fun to watch, hopefully.
No, that will make it funner to watch because it's been more defense than anything.
Well, for England, but when you watch like Turkey and Netherlands, they were back and forth. And I mean, good God. Just, yeah. And honestly, I have to say, the Netherlands probably has the number one central defender in the world right now in terms of soccer. Virgil van Dijk. That guy is just a beast. Like, think of a guy at 6'4" that can run, like the 100 meters in like 9.5 seconds, jump, deflect the ball, push people around. Like, oh, he's great to watch. Yeah, England does at time. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Look
Anthony.
at this. Cheers. No, you're all good. And that's a good reminder, people. At 6 o'clock, Live Wire Whiskey. So be ready. We'll break here to go to Live Wire Whiskey in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to give you all a little intermission to head over there and visit Live Wire Whiskey. And hopefully, once we do that, I can work on this camera issue and pop on the Live Wire a bit. But for now, it's all good. It is all good. I'm enjoying my last sips of this Dark Arts, and really good whiskey. Really good whiskey. I was talking about it earlier, Donald, the Glenglassau Portsnoy.
Yep.
I reviewed that last week.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, was that good? I am so impressed at what I have had with them in their core line right now. So I have the Sans in, now the Portsnoy. I've got the 12. The 12 just didn't make it to the store here, but I will pick that up. And so that'll give me all three core range whiskeys from them. But wow, okay. I'm impressed so far with that.
Yeah, I've got one or two samples of Glenglassau left that I have to wrap my head around because they're single barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point I'll open them up, but
I forget the names of those.
One of them was,
it's not Avenger or
no,
something like that.
Something close though.
Yeah,
I'll have to go like to the closet and look.
Yeah,
yeah.
It'll be one of those, if you don't remember, you're going to go to the closet at some point in the next couple of days just to say, yeah, what the hell is that? And where are they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you have a good idea of where they are, but it's like,
Well, just like when I forgot that I actually had 2 bottles of Redbreast Lustau on hand. I bought one.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, reorganizing stuff, and apparently I didn't reorganize enough. But I'm like, damn, I'm out of Redbreast Lustau. So I bought a bottle. And then at one point, I go to the back of the closet, and I'm like, wait a minute. I have an unopened bottle of Lustau here. I just bought one. Oh, well.
I've owned one. It's gone. I need to buy another, and that is a delicious bottle. It just is.
That Lustau, though, I really like the Redbreast Lustau. That's
an
excellent sipping Irish.
To be honest, I'm kind of done with Redbreast overall in terms of the pricing and.
Oh, they're getting they're
getting
yeah, but they're all jumping up $10 or so.
No, it's even more than $10. I think if I'm going to keep Redbreast now on the shelf, it's going to be the 15 Lustau, and that's it. Like the rest can just take a flying hike.
Oh, the cask strength has gone up $50-$60.
No, I know, and the whole problem is overall with the cask strength, the quality has gone down considerably since
inconsistent.
Yep.
Thank goodness mine's okay. And before the price hike, I bought a backup, so I got mine for under 100. But to find them for 149 plus, that's not unusual anymore.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I think Middleton have lost the plot, and they're going to hurt themselves in terms of like whiskey they're releasing. Just, yeah.
Well, I've seen more Middleton on the shelves than I have in past. I will say that. And
Yeah,
I think
but
it's because of the price.
yeah, exactly. Because Middleton is this huge conglomerate that makes all the spots: Redbreast, Powers, Jameson.
Oh, the spots are getting redonkulous.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
I've heard.
So I went to buy another. Oh my gosh, blue, and I paid $169 for mine about 2 years ago. And I thought, okay, if it's under $200, I'll buy it. $200 or less. Oh no, try 300.
Yeah.
Oh,
Three
uh-oh.
freaking $100.
So Anthony, you're gonna cringe at what I pay here for Blue Spot. In a good way, because right now I can get Blue Spot for 125 Canadian.
Mm.
What? Holy shit.
Yep.
Holy shit.
And
Yeah, I'd be buying that.
Yeah, and the last bottle that I bought of Blue Spot, I paid 75 US.
Holy shit, I'd buy buying 2.
Yep.
One for the right, one for the left.
And
Yeah.
not only that, Red Spot. I saw you guys are paying like $350 in some
Oh
place.
yeah, it's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, so my price of Red Spot is 125 US.
Oh yeah, for that price? Hell yes. Shit. But yeah, Mike, it's for Blue Spot now at 300. That is about what it is everywhere, or if not more. It has gotten absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad I had it. As a matter of fact, I left that in Yuma because Mom likes it. So I said, drink it.
Okay.
And then she looked up the price and she goes, "You paid what?" And I go, "What difference does it make? You didn't buy it." I said,
No.
"You're more than welcome to finish the bottle." And now she's like, "Well, I feel terrible." What are you feeling terrible for? It's just what it costs. You like it, you have it. And I was only going to get another one because she liked it so much. It's just to have it. So when she finished that, I could say, okay, here's the next bottle. But there comes to a point for everything. You go, I'm not paying $300 for that bottle. Just not going to do it. It's good. I'd love to have it. But at $300,
Yeah.
put a little Astro lube on that thing and stick it where the sun don't shine.
Nah, yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's getting beyond ridiculous, and we've all talked, about that, about these prices and so on and so forth.
So, Chris, if you take the Union Pearson Express, as we say here in Toronto, the Up Express, it's 20 minutes by train maximum to downtown Toronto. And if you're staying at the Royal York, it's literally across the street from the train station, located very centrally.
Richie Z, cheers, brother. Appreciate you stopping by, saying hello, smashing the like button. Always great to see you.
Cheers, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, we're all at that point, and it comes up at some point on somebody's stream that when is this going to stop? I mean, there are some people say that bourbon is about at its pinnacle as far as price, and they feel it's going to start to go down. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
Some people have. Some people haven't. I think what's going to happen is it's going to take a big crash again in the market.
It's not going down as long as the demand is there. And when you see shit like this in your store, and you pay $100 for it, you're going to pay that money. You ain't going to care.
Mm-hmm.
That's a single barrel pick at 120 proof.
I can't be one to talk because I paid some stupid money for some stupid whiskey.
Oh, yeah. We all have done that. Everybody has.
It just, at the end of the day, when the core range stuff starts getting into what used to be single barrel and special release territory. You're like, especially over the past 4 years, like the inflation in whiskey has outpaced pretty much everything else. Like, it's crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. I mean, I'm willing to pay for some things, and we all have that price point. That, even though MSRP, let's say it's $100, you want it, you like it,
or
you're willing to pay $20-$30 over. That's all in out the door. So you have that price. But when you're just literally being raped, it's just, you stop.
The other thing too is that if you're a fanboy of a particular distillery, then I can see overpaying because you're like,
gotta have it.
That's
no, and we all have a certain distillery or that we have an affection for. So when something comes out, you may look at the price and go, "Fuck me," I mean, serious. But everything that they've done, pretty much you have been absolutely satisfied with. Some might not have been to the expectation, but it's still a good whiskey.
Yeah.
And so you just give it to me. Here's the money, and you do it.
I drink Buffalo Trace with Benchmark bonded, same distillery, and I only do it because the Benchmark bonded, 4 year. It's almost guaranteed that it's going to be halfway decent. It keeps me from drinking too much of Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
So that's how you fucking pick shit,
I mean, I'm still in the market for another Middleton Dark Gaelic, but I know it's probably going to run me $625 Canadian, and I'm like,
damn. I know, but if it's the bottle, if it's the batch, if everything lines up, and you have it in your hand, literally.
Well, my last bottle ran me $550 Canadian, but that wasn't because of Middleton. That was because of Air Canada.
Exactly.
Because when my grandmother brought it back, she was overweight, and I'm like, damn it.
Oh, okay. I know. All right, there's another $100.
Yeah, it's like, how much did it cost you? And I'm like, okay, I'll just pay it. Yeah.
Well, what are you going to say? You asked to do it, and she paid it, and you're like, it's okay, Grandma, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, like, what am I going to tell my grandmother? Screw you?
Well, you could, but, the outcome wouldn't be good for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't get my bottle, and I'd probably have like an axe murderer at my door the next day.
I got to screw you.
Graham don't play. I know. I'm not making fun of her, I swear I'm not, but I got what you're saying.
I can see her doing that. I mean, this is the woman that tells me sometimes, that's nice.
Yeah, and you know exactly what she means. Exactly.
Yeah.
But she's polite about it.
Yeah.
Grandma has politeness and finesse. That's right.
Oh, sometimes not.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes, like one time we were leaving where she works at the church, and there's one particular priest she doesn't like. So she rolled down the window and said, "Oh, be careful. Don't go that far in front of my car. I might run you over." And he's like, "Oh, no, please don't." And she rolled up the window and just went, "Asshole." Hey,
do not get Grandma mad.
No.
At her age.
Yeah.
That's right. She knows. Oh, goodness gracious.
I just love the fact that she had the wherewithal to roll up the window and go, "Asshole."
That's right. Hey, and there's nothing you can say, Donald. There's nothing you could say, but okay, Grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't have a Costco membership, but she does.
Yep.
So I was like, hey, I need underwear. I like the Kirkland boxer briefs. She's like, no problem. How many packages? What size? Okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
I picked them up from her. I'm like, here's the money. She's like, nope. I'm like, what do you mean, no? No money. Mm-hmm. She's like, hey, I was covering your ass 42 years ago, and I'm going to do it again.
I'll keep you clean still.
That is good. I was covering your ass 42 years ago. I'll do it now. That's right.
Yep.
Like I said, it's grandma. There is nothing you can say.
No.
And, you know, like I said, this is my first full year in my life. I'm 55 that I don't have grandparents now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had I knew great grandparents
Same here
throughout my life. And then, you know, my last grandmother just passed away June of 23 at 97. She would have turned 99 this year.
Yep.
But there was things she'd say to me, and it's like, okay, what am I to say to
exactly
a 96-year-old woman who's given me hell for something that she doesn't like that I do?
Yeah, exactly. Like same thing with my great grandmother. Up until the time I was like 14, like if I wanted dinner, as soon as I turned 11, I would have to be put in the kitchen peeling carrots and potatoes because she's like, "You want your dinner? Start peeling." Like,
okay.
Yeah.
And hey, what was funny though, if you didn't, you wouldn't be eating.
Yeah. Well, I would be eating, but I would probably get like an earful and told that I was a shite and a whole bunch of other things. Yeah.
Like I said, grandma don't play.
Yeah.
Grandparents, they were a different generation.
Oh, yeah.
Totally different generation.
It's funny you say that because my girl was telling me cook the ribeye steaks in the patio last night.
Flying into Toronto.
And it was 112 outside. And I told her, "What are you fucking doing?" She goes, "I'm grilling the veggies in the oven." And I said, "I don't want to go outside." She goes, "Well, if you want good food, cook the steaks. You and I will be sitting in the kitchen in a few minutes, and we'll have good food, and you'll enjoy it. So just go fucking do it." Like,
and you just say, "Yes, dear."
Yes, dear. I did.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll never forget that one time I got a rugby injury when I fractured my arm, and my grandmother on my dad's side. So think about this 4'8" woman from Belfast that was a ball of energy and anger. Yeah, well, do you know what she told me? If you do that again, I'm going to take you out in this shed and fucking shoot you like a lame horse.
And hey, you looked into her eyes and thought, "Damn, she's serious."
Yeah,
just like, what the hell? Like, not even, "I'm sorry you're hurt, you know, are you in pain?" No. If you do that again, I'm going to take you out in the shed and shoot you like a fucking lame horse.
Thanks,
Grandma. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's love for you right there.
Yes, sir.
I'm not laughing at her at all, but it's just funny because I can relate.
No, I get it.
Just can.
A lot of kids,
we all got stories like that.
Yeah, a lot of kids today, that are in their, teens and early 20s, they won't have that.
Oh no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Nah.
Yeah, if you want to forget, people, you got 5 minutes to live wire whiskey. Wow. So I'm gonna cut it off here because this conversation was getting good and just the whiskey was getting good, and but we can't miss live wire. So when you guys get over there, you just tell them that I sent you over there. And sorry about the camera, but there was nothing I can do about that. It's still being persnippety, but I'll reboot everything here once I shut down and see how we go. Darn right. Got to take care of business first because it is a shit show when it comes to live wire whiskey. That's for damn sure. But everybody, I appreciate you for popping over, saying hello. I appreciate you, Z-Man, Donald, for popping on tonight. It was great. Everybody in chat, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you all again next weekend. Have a great week, everybody.
Yep.
Cheers. See ya.
Launcher.
Cheers. Launcher.